Hi everyone, welcome back to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel, your source for all things Everton. This is the match reaction for Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Everton 1 in a game, which it just makes you feel like you've had just enough Everton to last you a lifetime. It's just how much more of this can we take? It's what this club do to you is unbelievable at this point. A game which you could be argued, did Everton deserve a point? Maybe. Did we deserve to win? Probably not. Did we deserve to lose? I think there's an argument there, maybe. But listen, we just knew that the task at hand, and we couldn't really afford to lose today. Let's have it right, because Leeds United would have just smelled blood. Leicester would have smelled blood, albeit they are a much worse side, I do believe. But it was all about Everton not losing the game today, and we haven't done so. Then Yerry Mina equaliser in the 99th minute has meant that we come away with a point from Molineux. Listen, for a long period of the game, it looked like it was heading for one way, and that was defeat. So for us to come away with something, it's something to cling on to heading into that final game. What that means for us, obviously, we have to win the Bournemouth game. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of this still rests on other teams too. I haven't quite been able to sit down and work out the different situations that we're going to find ourselves in with other teams. I'm sure a lot of people will do that for themselves. But listen, the main thing was not losing the game today, and we haven't done it. On paper, it looks like you're coming away to a side that hasn't lost since March with a point is a good result. And you know what, on the whole, and what happened in the game, it probably is. When you look at it in isolation, it's a good result. It's a good solid point. But when you look at what happened in the game, obviously losing Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a huge blow for us, because we know just how important he is to this side. And, the way Everton play, the way they set up, completely different when we have that focal point there. Now it's unlikely that he will feature in the Bournemouth game. Would have thought, when Dominic Calvert-Lewin goes down like that, we've seen that enough times to know that usually means we're not going to see him for a while. Nathan Patterson again, he was off injured, which is really disappointing to see. Played the majority of the game with no fullbacks, no out-and-out striker, and things like that is what really makes you worry going into that Bournemouth game. But we've got to remain upbeat. We've snatched a point right at the death through Yerry Mina. Fair play. They kept going. They had to. They just had to, and we've come away with something. Just on their goal for Wolves, really, really poor one to concede again. We give the ball away in the midfield, and Traore is just allowed to stroll through. No one puts in a challenge. No one puts in a foot. No one just makes the professional foul and takes the yellow. James Garner did one right towards the end, and you just think, where was that for the goal? Cheap goal to give away. Thought we were quite sloppy in midfield and in possession, which was disappointing. But to come away with a point, we'll just take the point and get out of there. A lot of people made a lot of noise about how 4 points was probably the target and enough to possibly stay up. Of course, you don't know, other teams can really change that. But we've gone to Wolves, a side who haven't lost, who don't lose all that often at home in recent weeks and months anyway, and we've came away with a point. So listen, it is what it is. I think everyone's just so drained and has so little energy at this point now in the season, where 99th minute equalizers is just like, everyone, of course, we're made up for it, but you just want to get over the line now and just forget about Everton. Well, I do anyway. I can only speak for myself, but I'm just so desperate for this season to be over now. One game left, one massive push at the weekend against Bournemouth, and we'll see what happens there. No Calvert-Lewin, I wouldn't have thought. Hopefully we have Mikalenko back, so we'll at least have one full back on the pitch, which will mean Dwight McNeil can get forward. But yeah, it remains to be seen. We shall see. But yeah, 1-1. I'm sure we would have took that going into the game. It's a shame that we couldn't get all 3 points, but I think that sort of that dream went out the window when Calvert-Lewin went to ground, didn't it? Let's be honest. To come away with a point at that stage, you would have took that. So yeah, that's just a brief reaction straight after the game. Not going into too much detail. I'm sure there will be a lot more a more in-depth breakdowns coming on the channel in the next couple of days. Obviously, it's very difficult to sort of predict what's going to happen over the next week now with other teams yet to play. At the time of recording this now, just have a little look at the Nottingham Forest score. Nottingham Forest are winning 1-0. That's not great, of course. Just over half an hour gone in that game at the time of recording, so that could change. But yeah, we've just got to beat Bournemouth on Saturday, and I'm sure between now and the last game of the season, there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of Evertonians um, dreading that game and just wanting it out the way. But yeah, one game now to go. 90 minutes separates us and the finish line, and yeah, there's no point in getting too bent out of shape over it because they've just completely brought us to our knees all this season, and we've just got to hope and pray that we just have enough to get over the line now. Yeah, so keep your eye on the channel for a lot more videos and reaction to this result in the coming days, and obviously a lot of build up to the big one, the big season finale as well. So yeah, we shall speak to you next time on the Toffee Blues. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already.